Let's get weird.
Yeah, let's get weird. It's a Friday. Time to get weird. You got weird last night, didn't you? Did you get weird last night?
Yeah, we had a great event with Elijah Craig, Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey, and we had a great time in the Loop.
Did you get sideways?
I wouldn't say sideways, but it was a later night for me afterwards then, too. And it was a great time. A lot of teammates were out. Great partnership with Elijah Craig.
Drinking some bourbon, huh?
And a lot of great fans of the show. Sometimes those city events are tough. The parking's always tough, but.
And there was no Cub game for you to run home to watch, so you could just relax and spend some time out.
Right, and who would have thought the Celtics lost last night?
They
right?
did. They lost to the Cavs.
They got thumped.
Our buddy Stewart, who used to work for the Celtics, he was watching on his phone, and I go, turn it off. You got nothing to worry about. Even if they do lose, big deal. They're going to win in 5 or whatever. They're going to win. They have no problem in the East. They're getting to the championship. It's just a matter of who they face there and if they can win. They have no problem in the East, right? Even though they lose.
I don't think
game.
so. Did I see that Chuck was calling the Knicks an overrated team?
In the city.
Yeah.
The Knicks in there. Do we
And
have
the
that?
city.
We never played that yesterday. Do you want to hear that?
Yeah.
Kembo, if you could call that up. It should be on our screen from yesterday. If it was still there, because we never got to it yesterday. That's what inspired our Charles Barkley conversation about wanting to do this quiz, if people can recognize him on the street. Here it is.
If the Knicks win, that'll be good.
You care who wins. Cut it out.
I don't care who wins, but I will tell you what, I would love to see them get their ass stomped by the Celtics. That'd be great.
Then you care who wins.
I mean, I'm just saying, whoever wins this series is going to get stomped by the Celtics.
Well, you said you'd be happy to see it.
Yeah, because the New Yorkers, y'all deserve it. Because y'all think y'all the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Tell them, Chuck.
Come on, y'all ain't that good in New York.
What else, Chuck?
Come on, man. Y'all overrated.
What else, Chuck?
It's because y'all make good pizza and good bagels.
And what else, Chuck?
And what else, crime?
And hold on, Chuck. Don't forget about the...
Oh, they can't, I ain't going to say anything bad about the street meat. I love the street meat. I love the street meat.
The New York Knicks...
I don't care what kind of meat it is either. It tastes good.
Out to it. Even if you got no idea what
rat,
it is.
dog, cat, skunk, raccoon. It tastes good. Just put that white sauce on it. That's it. Right. That's it right there. That's some good stuff, y'all.
What's the white sauce?
I don't know. What is he? Is he talking about the hot dogs, or what is he talking about the street meat? Is he literally talking about roadkill?
All I know.
Or what is he talking about?
You guys don't put the white sauce on your street meat?
I don't.
Gyros, right? White sauce on your gyros?
I mean, honestly, I know this is playing the role of master of the obvious, but this is if this group of guys who cover the NBA and this presentation, it's the most glorious, funny, and maybe it's not for everyone. I don't know why it wouldn't be for you. If in fact
it gets dismantled,
would that be the stupidest decision by any sports executive of all time, or is it just not that simple?
I don't think it's that simple, because Ernie has been adamant he's staying at TNT.
Right.
He's been at Turner for like 40 years, right? And his dad used to work at Turner. So
when I was in college, he was at Turner.
And he's not leaving.
I used to interview him when I was at my college radio station.
Is there any way, though, that they could somehow keep this group together and they could still stream it, do whatever
Even
it
if
is?
they don't, the problem is, for those who aren't aware, NBC is trying to get the NBA back, and they're trying to get the TNT package. So if they get the TNT package, Ernie's staying at TNT.
Yes.
Right.
And then Shaq's
can't put it together.
Or Chuck's got an out.
He's got an
contract.
out.
He'll be a free agent immediately, and probably the most sought-after media free agent in the history of sports free agency, right?
And ESPN is going to want to get him. But, of course, Chuck has always said he does not want to work the way ESPN wants their guys to work.
Right. He doesn't want to be on the schedule for X number of days and have to show up on a show to fulfill a requirement.
He doesn't want to do the car wash.
He doesn't want the Stephen A. Greeny, you're on a lot.
You have to go on. If you're like someone like that, you have to go on Get Up. Then you got to go on First Take. Then you got to go on NBA Live.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it
'cause
is going to be interesting because there's no show that
It'll be a bummer.
that can duplicate that or come close to what they do.
Can't
on
you
any
stream?
sport.
Like again, can't you stream it on one of those streaming platforms and have it on demand?
I think you could, but the problem is like Turner can't. It doesn't sound like they can pony up.
Or you can't pay those guys the amount of money
Yeah,
if you
because the
don't have the
revenue
game.
wouldn't be
I think
coming
that's
in.
the. I think that'll be the
Yeah,
problem.
that'd be a shame if, in fact, that thing is no longer a thing going forward. Does anybody believe that the Nuggets still have an opportunity to advance in this series, or is everybody? And I know you and Wilbon were right. The NBA decided that the best way to punish Jamal Murray was to just fine him $100 million or $100,000. $100,000. And I saw Greeny's reaction to it the other day, and I agree with him 100%. I thought Jamal Murray handled it inappropriately. I think the league was too light on him. But with all that as the backdrop, like I personally would not put my money as I did, after game one, suggesting I still thought the Nuggets were going to win. I've definitely changed my opinion of that series.
Well, they're not. He's not handling the adversity well. He didn't handle even like getting off of a suspension well.
No,
like
I
you
don't.
would have thought he would have done a cartwheel after not getting suspended. They interviewed him, and he's like, "No, that's in the past. I'm not talking about it." Like you would have thought he would be. Thank my lucky stars. I didn't get suspended. I'm sorry for what I did. It's not a good look for me. It's not a good look for my teammates. I'm sorry that I did it. It will never happen again. I'm a role model for the kids, and it's not something that I take lightly. I'm thankful that I get to play in Game 3. Instead, he's acting like, he shouldn't have to ever address it.
I thought it was a bad look for him, to say the least. I thought it was awful. I think that the whole series has been a bad look for the Nuggets.
Yeah, he should be thrilled that he gets to play in Game 3.
So I don't think that the Nuggets have the capacity to turn this series around.
Doesn't look like it. The way the T-Wolves play defense right now, and Anthony Edwards and what they have is must-see TV right now. I'm so fascinated to see if he truly does take the leap and kind of steal the mantle as the best player in the league before, guys like Jason Tatum are kind of like waiting in the wings, to Sylvie's point. You'd assume they'll be in the finals, but can a 22-year-old Ant come in and steal it before they get their crack at it?
I think even watching the Wolves demolish the Nuggets was still must-see TV. Sometimes when you see a team blow another team out, you're like, this isn't compelling. Because of some of the side stories and watching the Nuggets, the defending champs, implode, that to me was still
really?
must-watch television.
I turned it off after halftime.
Nah, I watched it because I wanted to see if anybody else was going to lose their what. But
what time's the game tonight?
8:30.
Yeah, Knicks and Pacers are the first game again. Pacers are 7.5-point favorites in this game. Jalen Brunson's game-time decision.
Let me ask you this. You may view this as a stupid question. OG's already out tonight, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rest? He's already questionable. And when do they play? When's the next game? Is it a Sunday afternoon game? Isn't it a real quick turnaround?
Yes,
for
it
Game
is
3?
correct. It is Sunday afternoon.
So they're playing Friday
2:30
night and
then
into Sunday after.
2:30 on Sunday.
Okay, so Jalen Brunson, if he plays tonight, he's probably not going to be right. He missed the first half or a lot of the first half in the last game. He's probably not going to be right if he plays tonight the rest of the series. Knowing that OG's already out, would you have a miss tonight?
Well, and here's
Do you want to tell Tibbs that, or should I?
No, I know that.
Part
but-
of the answer to the question would be, in a different situation with a different coach, you may be able to create a scenario where you could play that player in a strategic fashion. If it gets away from you, you sit him. But I don't think that there is
lose the battle to win the war.
Yes.
And I'm not saying this isn't again load management. This has nothing to do with load management.
This is injury.
He's
related.
hurt.
Yeah.
You were already missing OG. You're already Mitchell Robinson just went out.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone for the rest.
Yeah.
Of the playoffs. So you're already shorthanded. You have got to get healthy. You have got to get healthier. And if Jalen Brunson isn't capable and is questionable already.
How about this, too? And are you factoring in at all after the tirade that Rick Carlisle went on? You have to imagine going home.
The whistle, you're going to get the benefit of the whistle.
Yeah, like you're going to be up against it in that regard as well.
I would think this is as close to a lock as there is
That's
in
what I'm
professional
saying.
sports.
Yes. Like, and again,
I could understand if they did do it. I definitely
Like,
could.
I know you never want to take any game for granted.
What would Michael do?
Michael who?
Michael Jordan?
He'd
What would
play.
Michael do?
I didn't know if you were talking about, like, Michael, the owner.
No.
I didn't know what you meant.
What would Michael do?
The player. Oh,
I'm sure Jalen Brunson would want to
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
But, I mean, if they decide to I don't – how bad is he hurt? I know,
Bad enough to miss the first, the first half.
I
or
know, but
however
in the
long.
second half he came back and was Jalen Brunson.
He was
So
fantastic. What did
Yeah,
he score,
I don't
20?
he ended up with 28, didn't he? 28, 29?
Yep, 29.
29, yeah.
So good.
He is unbelievably
It really-
such a
what
fun watch,
success. What a great success story.
He is. Oh, and by the way, you mentioned there was some Cubs news. Seiya has been activated, but he's not in the lineup tonight.
I don't understand why they do this. The Sox did that recently, too, with Eloy. Why do you activate a guy like Bellinger when he was activated, played that day? Why do you activate a guy and not start him?
It's a good question. It's a good question for Craig Counsell.
Travel fatigue from Iowa, maybe?
From staying in that crap hole hotel that
That's
Waddle's
right.
been
Exactly.
telling you about.
He had to share the bed with Canario, so he hasn't been sleeping well the last
Maybe he's got a
couple
bad
nights.
back.
That's
Don't
what.
know.
No, that's what.
Tyon.
Yeah, Tyon has a bad back.
Wait, that back isn't going to get any better if you send him back to the Verbo back in Des Moines or wherever it is.
So
but-
Tyon's got scratched.
Correct. Javier Assad on his regular 4-day rest will start tonight for the Cubs.
And Dansby Swanson is on the 10-day list with a knee. Got a knee.
He's had knee soreness.
Got a knee.
Maybe maybe this is a blessing in disguise where this has been the reason why he's been struggling so poorly, and maybe you take care of this, and then he could look more like himself afterwards.
Meller, have you ever been more? When was the last time you were this excited for a Pirates game, the start of a Pirates pitcher, which will occur tomorrow?
Oh, Paul Skeens, he is the highest in terms of pitching prospect, the highest rated pitching prospect since either Steven Strasburg or Mark Pryor. They're saying, those three, they're the trinity of pitching prospects. He will make his debut.
Do you have a watch party for this schedule tomorrow?
Yep, me all by myself.
Yeah.
So maybe you're rooting for the Padres against the Cubs last series. Now
Correct.
you're on the Pirates.
Yes,
against the Cubs. Like you're just Mr. Anti-Cubs.
I guess so. But whet your appetite tonight, boys, because Jared Jones, he throws in the triple
Jerry
digits.
Jones is taking the ball for
Jared
the Pirates
Jones,
tonight?
He throws triple
Wow.
digits. Yes.
This is why he did nothing with his Cowboys team when he said we're all in. Is because he's been
He's
busy
working
with the
on
Pirates.
Yeah.
He's thrown 100. It's pretty good for a guy who looks like
As I said
100.
to you at the break, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I guess it's disrespectful. Has he already scheduled his Tommy John surgery?
He has not, Tom.
He hasn't.
Why you got to be a hater?
It's not being a hater; it's being a realist.
It's fun. Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
I think Verlander said it as much, didn't he, earlier in the year when they asked him about it? The way that all of the what do you call them? The camps they go to, where they go and they learn how to throw the ball faster and spin rates.
Driveline?
Yeah, all those places.
Yeah.
Tyler, I think this is where Jed's being very sneaky, where every team has guys who throw like 102. Jed's zagging. Jed's going, we're loading up with as many 92-mile-per-hour guys as possible.
Jed's going for craft, not velocity.
Yes.
Said Kraft, right?
I did say Kraft.
Assad doesn't throw 90 more higher than 92, does he?
No, none of them do in the starting
I
rotation.
know.
No,
it's
listen.
crazy.
It's you're not that far fetched. I've heard people talk about that. Is that the Cubs?
The Cubs are not allowed to sign someone who can throw 98 or 99 because that ups the odds of a Tommy John, and they don't want to pay it. They don't want to pay for the surgery. Up there.
Jed's got a motto. It's going for craft in the starting rotation and going for crap in the bullpen.
I like it a lot. Do you guys know, before we go to break and then come back with a little Florida or Ohio, my wife told me about this story this morning. I had no idea about it, about bracing for a severe geomagnetic storm today, the first in nearly 20 years, which could bring some chaos to mobile phone networks, satellites, and power grids. Did you guys hear about this?
Why do we keep getting chaos?
What do you mean, why do we keep getting chaos? Because we create chaos.
I think our level of chaos has been upped in the last 5 years.
yeah.
Like
Well, a lot of
since
it is
COVID.
self-induced, not COVID, self-induced chaos. So do you understand this, Tyler? I don't understand it.
Can you tell us about it next?
Yeah,
don't.
can you tell us? You can't? Okay, well then just bring us some gory story about Florida, Ohio, okay?
Very gory today.